Okay, so is this a fair request is the question. There is a couple that has gone viral because they are legally married. No, I'm sorry, they're not legally married. They had a commitment ceremony 2 years ago.
Okay.
They've been together for 6 years. They each make about $175,000 a year.
Nice.
And the man in the relationship would like to have a child with the woman. They are not married, which is fine. It happens all the time. Mm-hmm. However, the woman has asked him for $50,000 as payment to carry his child. She's not a surrogate. It's her baby.
So what?
It's her egg.
What does she want the $50,000 for? Or because
She
of all
thinks that he should have to help out financially and cover $50,000 of her salary that she would lose when she goes on leave, because her company, when she goes on maternity leave, will only pay 50% of her salary for 6 months.
Aren't you married? And I mean, together
Yeah.
at least. You're like they're living together, I assume.
Yeah,
Yes,
but maybe
yes.
they split bills.
Yes, she said she's the only one taking the financial hit if she chooses to have a baby with him. Because for 6 months, which that's a long maternity leave, that's a really amazing amount of time if you get that. She's getting
getting that.
50% of her salary for 6 months while she's on leave. She also found out that she could take an additional 6 months if she wants after that. Her company
no
policy,
pay?
but for no pay. So
Well,
if she
he's not gonna
decides to
like
take
that.
more than 6 months, then she wants another $50K on top of that. So people online are split about the quandary because the reward is the baby. I mean,
Yeah.
you're making a child. He's not forcing her to get pregnant. She said, okay, if we have, because here's how you think about it. Before you're pregnant, you're rational. You're thinking rationally. You put everything to paper, like black and white. You're thinking, well, is it time for us to try and have a baby yet? Well, let's look at our finances. Blah, 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 blah. Once you're in it, oh, honey, the roller coaster's taken off. That train's left the station. You're just building the plane as you're flying it. Right?
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, it is what it is. We're just doing this now. So I think she's being real technical right now because she's thinking about it so detailed.
It sounds like I don't know. It doesn't sound like you love your baby when you do that.
Or she doesn't know what she doesn't know.
Like I understand
Yeah.
what
You know what I
she's
mean? Not
saying,
until
but
she's in it.
It's like it's your baby.
Because
You shouldn't
Sam
think that way.
is always like making jokes like, oh God. Like if I text her like what I'm doing because we're talking to each other, she's like, oh God, your life is exhausting. But once Sam jumps into that world one day, hopefully for her, then if she wants that, then she'll see what we mean. Everybody does it.
Yep.
Parenthood is
All
a
the
crazy
cool kids do it. They have
roller
babies.
coaster. So do you think it is a legit request? Is it a fair request to say,
What do you
if
guys
I'm going to
say?
take a money hit and you don't take a money hit because I'm going to be out of work, off of my working schedule?
I just feel like if you're supposed to be partners, and
I think
that
if-
money should be like you shouldn't have to say I'll give you $50,000. It's like I got you.
Remember,
Yeah.
they're not legally married.
That's what I was gonna
Her
say.
money is not his money. His money is not her money. They are not
Well, then
legally
they should get married then.
Once if they split everything down the middle, like they spent, half money on mortgage, like they split
Yeah.
everything.
Car payments.
And so this would make sense. I mean, she probably needs help with the medical bills. Babies are expensive. And so maybe she's just wanting to know up front, hey, are you going to help provide for this child financially?
Well, also, anything can happen in the next year. I mean, tomorrow something could change, but anything can happen the next year. If for 6 months she's losing $50,000 of her salary for being on maternity leave, and look, not everybody has the luxury to even take 6 months and even get paid. I mean, true story. My first 2 kids, there was no maternity leave money. I only had 6 weeks off. That's it.
right.
So I came back to work after 6 weeks as I wouldn't make it. I wasn't getting paid anyway. So third baby, it changed with our policies here for where we work, which is great. But everybody's different. I mean, different companies give you a year paid time off. Other companies only give you 12 weeks. Or there's the Family Medical Leave Act, but that doesn't guarantee money. It just guarantees you get time off. So she's just trying to think
Someone
smart.
said why not $25,000? So you both take a hit. It's not really fair.
Because she did the math on her salary and what she would lose.
What is she
Yeah.
gonna lose?
She would lose, the $50,000 is half of what she would lose. Does that make sense?
Well, then that makes sense because that's what the listener's thinking.
Yeah, she's not asking for her full salary. She's asking for half of the half that she
I
loses.
just feel like you're supposed to be a couple. To me, this sounds like they're going to be divorced or not
Yes.
divorced or break up.
Yes.
This
Already.
texter says, this lady's
Tricky.
crazy.
Yeah.
There are people out there paying that type of money just to be able to have a baby.
Yep.
The next texter says, that's a fair hit. Her body and her career are going to take a hit. I don't see why not. I'm on her side, especially if I love my wife and I can afford to do that. This texter says, why not? He should pay her.
I just feel like it's so business feeling. It doesn't
It
feel
is.
like
It's like a deal.
Yeah.
But maybe that's her job. We don't know what her job is.
Right,
There are
that's
some
true.
people
Maybe
who
that's the
absolutely
way her
think
mind
everything's a
works.
contract.
They're both
Yeah.
lawyers.
Everything's a contract.
Right.
So if you're just tuning in, there's a couple that's together but not married. He wants to have a baby, and they make about $175,000 each. She will take a hit to her salary if she's out with maternity leave, and she would like for him to make up for the financial rest of
Well,
it.
what do you think, Rula? You didn't say.
Because they're not married, that's where it's tricky. I don't know what state they live in, so I don't know the laws. And I do feel like initially my reaction was, what the hell are you talking about? You're having a baby with him. That was my initial reaction.
Right.
But as we've dug deeper here, I guess she's just trying to be smart. Because what if he just off and
I feel like they're
ditches
not,
her?
I don't think
Yeah.
they should have a baby at all, personally. I don't feel like they're secure in their relationship.
Well, if she wants to have a baby, I'm all for it. If she's the one that doesn't want to have a baby,
I don't think she doesn't want to have it unless you
then
give me
don't
money.
force this lady to have
Yeah,
one.
that would be bad.
They're going to be divorced
Because that's
within
gonna be a
3
bad
years.
mother.
Or
Well, they're not
I say
even
divorced, but I
married.
mean separated. See, it's so hard for
I
me
think
to
I can
wrap
understand
my
it
head around
because
this.
they're not together, and if they split everything financially, then it makes sense.
Why not get married? I don't know.
Some people don't want to get married,
Because they want the escape pod to make it really easy just to.
or they just don't believe in marriage.
Did you hear the story about the divorce this morning, Kelly Clarkson? Those are
Yeah,
other reasons
yeah.
why people don't want to get married.
But now, if you live together, though, right? If you're together for so
In
many years.
Texas, common law marriage, I think, somebody can correct me
Yeah.
on 37530. Is it, I don't know how many years you're together. 2
don't
years,
know.
5 years living together? There's a common law
It's not 10, though, right?
Okay,
So
well,
that's-
that
Texas
even-
never came after me. I've been living in Booster for more than that.
He
10
hasn't left
years,
you yet.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, never left you.
But even...
Yikes.